and you shall see why he is also one of my favourites. Do not leave your children unattended with these action figures. What we will be talking about and looking at in more detail is the figure's articulation, action features, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Describing humans with animal tendencies, and vice versa.
Yes.
How cool would that feature be while you're wielding his nunchucks?
Traction locked.
Ho!
Go!
Hello again, retro fans, and hello to all my retro friends. Thank you for joining myself, Retro Holder 87, on another vintage toy review episode of Figures, Facts and Fiction. On today's episode we will be reviewing and taking a look at one of my personal favourites, another personal favourite should I say, from the LJN Thundercats Toy Line range. He is the mechanical martial art master Panthro.
Traction locked.
Ho!
Go!
What we will be talking about and looking at in more detail is the figure's articulation, action features, and of course any fiction that is associated with the character and the figure also, so make sure you stay tuned for that. As always, I will begin with a brief bit of background history from the character and his animated TV series, and you shall see why he is also one of my favourites. Panthro was released as part of the original series Toy Line range in 1985, but he was also released in the Series 3 range as well. Panthro is a mechanic elder of the Thundercats. He is arguably the strongest and usually associated with strength of body and will. He wields a set of nunchucks given to him by Jaga before arriving on Earth. The role he plays for the Thundercats ranges from warrior mechanic and occasionally counsel for young Lion-O.
You have to get past me first, Lion-O. I have to try to stop you.
A cool little fact for you here. His name is a play on words, Panther, of which he is based, and Anthro, describing humans with animal tendencies, and vice versa.
Yes.
Awesome stuff, guys. Now we're all warmed up, let's jump in and take a closer look at this incredible action figure. I shall start with his appearance. So as you can see, he comes in his famous grey colour skin, the Thundercat blue outfit, spiked straps and a blue belt. He has a lovely contrast with his Thundercats emblem that is on his belt also, finishing off with his blue footwear. We also have again some basic articulation, so we have head movement left and right. We have his legs move backwards and forwards, and we also have his arms move up and down, which then also leads me nicely onto his battle action move. What I do really like about the Thundercats and their toy line figures is they do all have a very similar battle action, but makers have taken into consideration the uniqueness of each character's weapons. For example, you've got Lion-O and Tigro, which only use one of their arms to perform their battle actions. With Cheetara and Panthro's battle action, when you actually perform... That wasn't supposed to happen. Let's try that again. Let me down, Panthro. Let me down. Take two, guys. When you perform Cheetara's battle action by pulling the lever, you have both of her arms move up and down at the same time. But when you are to perform Panthro's battle action, his action feature has his opposite, and he throws his nunchucks at the same time. But if you were to perform Panthro's battle action move, you can see his arms move in opposite directions, which I think is a pretty cool uniqueness to have with each individual character. Also, another cool feature which I really would have liked if they did include it with the Panthro figure. If you guys can remember from the animated TV series, you have the spikes on Panthro's straps that goes over his shoulders, and if you can remember, he was actually able to use them as some sort of grappling hooks. How cool would that feature be while you're wielding his nunchucks? Which leads me nicely onto his accessories actually. This is the accessory that comes with Panthro, his famous nunchucks. Now, this guy actually did teach me a very vital lesson in my early years of collecting, is the very vital lesson of do not leave your children unattended with these action figures, because they make accessories disappear. Kids, honestly, they leave them anywhere, so take that in mind for future reference. Right now guys, moving on to the Figtion section of the episode, and I tell you, this is a very lucky chap that I do favour him as one of my favourites from the Toy Line range, because my goodness, did he provide me a challenge to try and find some Figtion for this episode.
I can't, and I won't.
But luckily I did, and it may be scraping the barrel, but I do try to include some sort of Figtion section in the episodes that I do with my toy reviews, as you know, because it is always interesting, the stories that we do find out. Well, most of the time at least. So what I have managed to find out from all of my research, and endlessly it did seem like, but I did manage to find 2 pieces of figure Figtion for this particular figure.
You must, Lionel. It's the code of the Thundercats.
So the first one being a colour variation from the different series. Take from it what you will, but I thought it would be interesting to know. In his Series 1 release back in 1985, Panthro actually come with a slightly lighter blue colour scheme compared to Panthro's Series 3 figure release, which had a much more darker blue colour scheme across his figure. And his second and more significant variation is to do with his accessory actually. Panthro's nunchucks accessories came with 2 different types of clips to attach the chains to. As you can see from the images, he either came with a C-shape connection, or the other one had more of an O-shape section which had the clips to attach the chains on the bottom. So from that little piece of figure Figtion, I actually have the O-shape sections, which the chain, like I said, is supposed to be there, but another lesson taught by my children. And again, leading on from that, a very common figure to pick up if you do not have him in your collection. But again, the common theme being the challenge is to find this guy complete with his accessories, and then original ones. Also, not to pay a ridiculous price for them either. Unfortunately, on that note guys, it has come to an end of another retro vintage toy review episode of Figures, Facts and Figtion. So make sure you smash that subscribe button so you can be notified of all my content of these epic toy reviews, and also my toy hunts that I'll be doing, which is actually going to be my next video coming up on my channel, which is going to be me doing a toy hunt at Sandown Toy Fair. Plus also I'm going to be adding some more to this channel. I'm going to be adding some more toy hunts and toy hunt videos, but not from the toy fairs. It's going to be separate from that, so make sure you stay tuned for that also. Hopefully guys, on this channel I will be doing a lot more toy hunts and a lot more toy fairs at different places, so make sure if you see me in the yellow, come and say hello. I hope it has been informative and entertaining, as it always is for myself. And remember guys, stay awesome, always having fun, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye bye.